Hey everyone, welcome to the Movie Vault. My name is Rob. We're going to talk about movies. This is episode 31, I believe, of my watch list. Everything I watched in May and June. It's a big old list today, guys. Let's just delve right into this one. I have a physical media pile here in front of me. I have the trusty iPad ready to go because there was some cinema trips and streaming watches and stuff, guys, in the past 2 months. Let's kick it off with a physical media 4K full reviews on the channel, guys. It's Bloodsport. It's one of the greatest 80s action movies ever. You know, like the master of slow-mo fight scenes. JCVD, Jean-Claude Van Damme is in there. A young Jean-Claude Van Damme, I will point out. Guys, this is a really nice media book edition. I did enjoy Bloodsport. I never saw this when I was younger. It was one of those 80s ones that passed me by, and this was a first time watch. I did enjoy this, guys, and if you want to know more, please check out my full review here on the channel. A streaming watch next, guys. Myself and my girlfriend checked out Triangle of Sadness. There we go, guys. I apologize for the glare. There we go. There is the poster on the trusty iPad here. Guys, I missed out on this one when it was released in the cinemas. I did want to see it, and I thought the trailer looked kind of wild, and Woody Harrelson, and people were like throwing up on a boat and stuff like this. And we watched it, and it was completely the opposite of what I thought it was going to be. It was kind of a strange one, and I guess like I did enjoy it. It was a really strange movie from... strange in the terms of how the movie starts to where it ends up. I thought was really interesting what they did, and I did enjoy Triangle of Sadness. A physical media watch up next, guys, but I don't have it, so I'm going to go back to the iPad. My girlfriend picked up Cocoon on DVD. She had never seen it. There we go. And I had not seen this since I was a kid, so we checked this one out, and you know what, I remember actually kind of enjoying this as a kid, and like maybe not so much as an adult. Okay, so like Cocoon was okay, but then we watched Cocoon The Return, and it was just bad. It was bad. I like that they kind of brought back most of the main cast and stuff, guys. That was really cool, but Cocoon The Return was bad. It's, you know, if you want a bad movie to watch, or, you know, like so bad it's good kind of, that's when I would recommend Cocoon The Return. But give Cocoon the original one a watch and see what you think. Cinema trip next, guys, and this is like one of my favorite movies of the year. I cannot wait for the 4K to come out. It has a really nice steelbook. This is The Fall Guy. I loved this. It was so much fun. I kind of thought, you know what, I want to check this out and let's see what's going on. So we went to the cinema, and I was like completely like blown away. It was so much fun. Ryan Gosling is fantastic. Emily Blunt is great. I really enjoyed The Fall Guy, guys. I can highly recommend that one. If you have not seen that, please do check that one out. Another cinema trip, guys. We finally checked out Civil War. There was a lot of hype about this movie, and it got like brought forward or delayed, or there was some kind of drama, so we did go and check out Alex Garland's Civil War. It's by no means an easy watch or anything like that, but I thought it was a very interesting movie. With what's currently going on in the US and stuff, it was a really interesting watch, and that's kind of, I can't say I enjoyed it, can't say I disliked it. It's a good movie and it's interesting, and yeah, that's all I want to say about Civil War. Physical media, guys, again, full 4K reviews on the channel. It's my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies ever, The Crow, for this 30th anniversary limited edition. This is the steelbook, and I did get the version with the slip, which is on the shelves behind me here. Looks unbelievable on 4K. It looks really great. Delighted this finally got a 4K restoration that it deserves, and it's an absolutely brilliant movie. You know, the history of the movie and the backstory like is sometimes as interesting, or maybe even more interesting than the actual movie itself. But I do recommend, if you have 4K capabilities and you would like to upgrade your Blu-ray or your old DVD, please do check out the 4K of The Crow. Another streaming watch, guys, another one we missed in the cinema, so we decided to check it out on streaming, is May December with Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. Boop, window shut down. Do. I just honestly can't really remember this movie. Natalie Portman is an actress who is going to play Julianne Moore in a movie because Julianne Moore is someone who married a student and a younger student. She was a teacher or something like that and had kids. I think that was it. And it's sort of like, okay, it was interesting. But that's all that's kind of coming to mind for May, December. Another cinema trip, guys. This one had a really cool, and they actually gave out these little cards, La Chimera. I think it's Chimera. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. We went to see this one, and I'm going to be absolutely, fully blunt honest with you guys. I just don't think I understood the movie. And then after my girlfriend explained the stuff, like even on the, I'm going to zoom in, but even on the poster, there's the red string. When that was explained to me, I kind of understood it. But an interesting movie, I guess, and they kind of rob these kind of treasures is not the right word, but like things that they put in graves, to kind of, I guess, for people who pass away to take over to the other side, that kind of like, little gifts and stuff like that. These guys go around robbing these graves and stuff, and that's kind of what the movie is about a little bit. And the rest of it just kind of passed me by. I just didn't understand it, to be honest with you. Sometimes with that stuff, I kind of disappoint myself because it could be plainly obvious in front of me and I'm just not getting it. But La Chimera was the next one. Back to 4K, guys. The Departed. Absolutely amazing 4K. I really loved this one. I really, really enjoyed it on this revisit, watch and review. Full review again is on the channel. DiCaprio, Damon, Nicholson, Wahlberg, Scorsese directs. Absolutely love it. I love the cover art here. It's really, really great. DiCaprio is fantastic in this thing. Really, really good. As is the rest of the cast. But I did enjoy The Departed. Horror one up next, guys. Blu-ray. I think I picked this one up at CEX somewhere. This is The Orphanage, Spanish horror movie. I do remember running this one back in the day. What was the old year on this one? 2008. Spanish horror. Yeah, Orphanage. I kind of feel like I'm going to try and be spoiler free here, guys, but I kind of feel like it does the, there's a mother and a child ghost attaches on to the mother, and that kind of seemed to be an ongoing thing in the early 2000s with horror movies, and it's just one of those. There is some really good scares and jump scares in there. I did like it. It was just, upon the rewatch, I sort of felt like it's a typical like early 2000s horror. Like it's just that like kind of that base of a storyline. It's that same thing over and over again. Cinema trip next, guys. Transformers. Now, this is a poster for Transformers the movie. I realized I got the wrong poster on the iPad and it's too late to change it now. It was Transformers, the original series 40th anniversary kind of celebration event where basically you saw the first two episodes in the cinema. I loved Transformers since I was a kid. It was one of my most annoying cinema experiences I've had. People were talking throughout. People started arguing with other people talking. Kids were sitting behind us going, like, hey, Dad, what's this? This is not the Transformers I know. It was really annoying. The actual Transformers event was like a table read, so you have all the actors doing the voices and you have the kind of cartoonist playing in a tiny little box in the corner and you can see the guys doing the table read of the lines. I mean, I wasn't overly impressed by what it actually was, to be honest with you guys, but love Transformers, so was going to go and give it a watch either way. Physical media, guys. One of the more popular videos on the channel so far this year is the Abyss 4K review. That Cameron 4K trilogy everyone lost their minds over. Hot take on this one, guys. I don't think this is as bad as everyone made out. I think it looks great, and that's all I kind of want to say about the Abyss. Please check out the full review of the Abyss if you want to know more. I don't know that I overly love the Abyss now upon revisiting this movie. A long time since the last time I saw it. Wouldn't be one of my favorite Cameron ones at all, but nonetheless, the Abyss on 4K was the next watch up. A streaming watch, guys. I love a good horror or a murder documentary, so this one was called American Nightmare, where basically the girlfriend is kidnapped. The police think the boyfriend did it. He didn't. They don't believe him, and eventually it sort of comes out that hey, it was true. interesting documentary, American Nightmare. I would check that one out. Another one I did really enjoy, Netflix, was the Murdaugh Murders, a Southern Scandal. Really, really interesting stuff, guys. This is great. I think there's like 2 seasons. There's, a couple of episodes per season. That is one kind of murder, more of like a scandal, what's going on, and then there is a murder. That's one of those. If you're interested in those, I would check out those ones, guys. They were really interesting docs. Another streaming doc, guys, What Jennifer Did. I was on a kind of a doc watch, murder doc buzz. This was kind of interesting as well, What Jennifer Did. I mean, I say they're interesting, and I say I love murder documentaries, and like some of these things are hard to watch, like What Goes On, and this is real, they're all real, like it all really happened. What Jennifer Did is another one. If you like that stuff, I can recommend it. If you don't, then I would stay away from those kind of things. Another 4K, guys, full of you once again on the channel. I apologize for repeating myself. 55th anniversary edition of Once Upon a Time in the West. I think it looks brilliant. Looks good, sounds good. Sergio Leone at his peak as far as I'm concerned. Claudia Cardinale, Henry Ford, Jason Robards, and Charles Bronson. Lovely stuff. You get a bunch of cool stuff in there, glossy photos, posters, all the good stuff that we're used to with Once Upon a Time in the West. Brilliant Western. And Westerns are kind of a section in my collection. There's a bit of a gap there, and I don't have a lot of them, but Once Upon a Time in the West is one I've always had, and really glad with the 4K upgrade here. Back to streaming, guys. It was the anniversary of Manchester United doing the treble in 1999. So there's this great Amazon Prime doc called 99. I highly recommend it if you are a sports fan or a Manchester United fan. I thought it was really, really interesting. Really loved it. Anytime we talk about sports here, I know you guys aren't like overly into sports. And whenever I mention Manchester United, there's a lot of Liverpool people out there as well. So let's leave it at that. Manchester United 99. Physical media watch, guys, down to my girlfriend, so I don't have the DVD or the Blu-ray. I think it was. She picked up Leaving Las Vegas. We never saw it. The two of us checked it out for the first time. Nick Cage, Elizabeth Shue, and I have to say I did not like this movie at all. It was so depressing. God, what like a really depressing movie. I think we watched it once, and that's kind of it. I would not be interested in revisiting. I cannot recommend Leaving Las Vegas. I mean, Nick Cage is an alcoholic who basically sets out to drink himself to death and encounters Elizabeth Shue, who is a prostitute, I guess, and they somehow kind of end up sort of paired together or living together. And that's the movie. I can't, it's not an enjoyable movie to watch. For me personally, it wasn't anyways. So that would be one I would not recommend. We went to the cinema, guys. They do a mystery matinee once a month, so you buy your ticket, you don't know what you're going to see, and we saw The Witches of Eastwick, which is a fantastic movie. Cher, Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer, and of course Jack Nicholson. Awesome stuff. I have this in the collection and have not seen it in a number of years. And it was really, really cool to revisit. I did like it. Jack's just Jack, and it's fantastic. This one, guys, I'd never actually seen. This was the first time watch. It's an Arrow Blu-ray. Dan Aykroyd and Kim Basinger. My Stepmother is an Alien. It was a first time watch. Alison Hannigan is in there as well from Buffy, if any of you guys are fans of Buffy. I liked it. Dan Aykroyd at his what year was this? 88. So 80s Dan Aykroyd, love it. Kim Basinger is obviously, this is right before Batman. Good 80s fun kind of comedy movie. Guys, we move into June now. Again, this was a streaming watch. This was a Netflix. We watched this at some point kind of throughout May and kind of finished it in June. So this was a series called Turning Point, The Bomb in the Cold War. I guess there was a picture of Oppenheimer or something on Netflix, and we kind of decided to watch it. It is what it is, and it delves into Russia invading Ukraine, and but it also goes back to Oppenheimer and all that stuff kind of leading up to now. It's a very, very interesting documentary, but I found it very interesting nonetheless. Of course, this was a physical media watch. My girlfriend bought, I believe, a Blu-ray of this. I've always called her Agnes Varda. I don't know, maybe that's just an Irish way of pronouncing it, but it's her documentary called Faces Places, where you can see in this, she goes around with this artist and they take photographs and they like paste the photographs, like in this here, it's pasted onto a tank train, for the lack of a better word, you know, like a tanker train carriage, I guess. It was very interesting, a really, really interesting documentary. And I actually, like, really delighted to say it inspired me to, I printed some pictures of old cinemas and like literally just wallpaper pasted them onto a brick wall in work to get kind of the effect of what these guys are doing in the documentary. And it turned out absolutely brilliant. And if we wouldn't have watched that documentary, I wouldn't have had the idea. And yeah, it was really, really cool. And if you're interested in kind of arts and photography and Agnes Varda, I do recommend Faces Places. Physical media watch again, guys, down to my girlfriend. She picked up the Criterion Blu-ray of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Stop motion, I believe. I could be wrong. I hope I'm right in saying that. Interesting movie, and it must have taken them an absolute age to make that movie. I think it took them 2 years when I looked it up. I could be wrong in saying that. Not one for me. Personally, didn't like it, but that's okay. You know, we're all here. We all enjoy different things, and I'm happy that I did watch it and was interested to look up the kind of backstory of the production of the movie and stuff like that. But Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio was the next one up. Another cinema trip, guys. The Dead Don't Hurt. Viggo Mortensen. Western was what it was. That's kind of what I would say about that one, guys. I didn't overly love it. Wasn't a big fan of it. But we went to see it and you know, got to check it out. Yeah, she was, I don't know her name, but she was like more of a main character than he was. And, you know, what she goes through is like quite harrowing at times. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on The Dead Don't Hurt. Physical media, guys, Blu-ray review on the channel. 3-disc limited collector's edition of The Garbage Pail Kids. I have not seen this since I was a kid. It's so much fun. It's really, really cool. Practical effects, you know, I love practical effects here on the channel, guys. I love it, love it, love it. Really nice 3-disc media book edition if you're interested in checking that out. Another doc, guys, a horror one. I picked this one up when we were on holidays in London. This is Blood and Flesh, the real life and ghastly death of Al Adamson. Al Adamson, this like B-movie exploitation horror kind of director, you know, basically ends up, you know, like murdered. And that's the gist of it. That's the gist of the doc. Like, guys, I do recommend it if you're a horror fan or you love a good doc like that. Blood and Flesh is really, really interesting if you want to check that one out. This next one I did review on the channel, guys. I did not really enjoy this movie. This was the 4K of The Last Kumite, kind of a follow-up from Bloodsport. As I mentioned in the review, guys, the steelbook is really fantastic. I love the embossing. I love it. Like, you know, this is great. I just didn't really like the movie that much. The review kind of divided people. Some people agreed with me, said it was absolute crap, and there's a bunch of you guys who were like, no, this was amazing, like what a throwback to 80s action movies, which is really cool. Like, I love that, you know, people can sort of be split on movies like this. And yeah, so you may enjoy Last Kumite. I personally didn't, but there you go. Another streaming doc watch, guys. This one was called The Fall Skydive Murder Plot. This was a Channel 4 app doc. Wife goes for a skydive. Her parachute's been tampered with. Did the husband do it? That's what the doc's about, guys. There's no point in kind of talking more. That's the gist of it. If you're interested in a good murder doc, The Fall Skydive Murder Plot is one for you. So again, guys, with the streaming, everybody was talking about this and we did not watch it. So myself and my girlfriend then decided to kind of blast through this in, I believe, one evening. Baby Reindeer, this was wild, guys. This was something else altogether. If this is what really happened, like, you know, the guy it happened to, I guess, wrote and maybe not directed, but wrote the series. That's really crazy if that's what happened, guys. It's kind of has to be seen to be believed. Really, really crazy stuff. Hard to say that you enjoyed it, but I watched it and kind of survived it, I guess, maybe, after watching Baby Reindeer. Guys, cinema trip up next, but I am going to show you the lovely Criterion trilogy. In work, we were showing the Before trilogy in the cinema. So we went to see Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, the kind of double bill there. We ducked out before midnight. Sometimes it's a hard watch, that one. But just to show you guys physical media, it was a cinema trip, but we do have the trilogy here in the collection. Yeah, they're really interesting, and I always kind of make a joke, you know, like, Jesus, he's just trying to get home, you know, he's just trying to get his train home, and all that happened. They are interesting movies, the Before trilogy. 4K review up next, guys. Collector's edition, Lisa Frankenstein, horror kind of comedy. Catherine Newton Cole Sprouse, directed by Zelda Williams, the daughter of Robin Williams. I like this. This was a fun time, this one. Really did like it. There's a full review on the channel as well if you want to hear more of my thoughts. But Lisa Frankenstein, good horror review there. Good horror watch. Another horror, not another horror at all. Rob, what are you talking about? 4K watch, guys. This was the first time watch. Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt. Speaking of Emily Blunt earlier, Edge of Tomorrow, the Cruiser. I really loved this, guys. This was fantastic. I can't believe I have not, like, hadn't seen it up to now. Really good stuff. Kind of futuristic war kind of stuff. You know, it's just really good. A really fun time. If you love a good action movie and if you like the Cruiser, then this is definitely one for you guys. Edge of Tomorrow. Speaking of action, talking about 90s, early 90s action, full review on the channel again, guys. RoboCop 2 4K Collector's Edition. This is from Scream Factory and has the slip. Really cool to have RoboCop 2 on 4K. I don't enjoy RoboCop 2 as much as the original, the first RoboCop, but still really cool to have it on 4K. Yeah, and some of those, you know, those kind of the fake ads and stuff are really they're really funny to watch back now. Cinema trip, guys, once more. The Princess Bride. Never saw this. We decided to go and see it. There was a screening in work. I mean, Andre the Giant was in it. Thumbs up. Otherwise, it seems like a typical kind of 80s. Stick it on, the kids will enjoy it. Like, there's some hijinks and comedy and all that sort of stuff, you know, like a good time in general. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It just is The Princess Bride, guys. That's kind of what I have to say about that one. Next two up, guys. I was going to say 4K, but they're not. They're Blu-ray. It's the Lawnmower Man collection. So Lawnmower Man 1, Lawnmower Man 2, Beyond Cyberspace. 101 is going to drop it there. 101 Films. Nice kind of black label box set here, guys. I loved Lawnmower Man, the original one, when I was younger. And I feel like it just didn't really live up on this rewatch. And Lawnmower Man 2 absolutely sucked. Burp. Thumbs down. I do not recommend Lawnmower Man 2 at all, guys. One final movie for this double month watch list, guys. Again, in work, we are exclusively running Kinds of Kindness on 35mm film at work. I have the pleasure of doing that. This was such a strange movie. Now, I do want to point out I'm not familiar with Yorgos Lanthimos movies. Poor Things was the first one I watched, and I really liked Poor Things. And then Kinds of Kindness came along, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, it ended, and I was like, what the hell, like, just happened? I don't know. That's how I still kind of feel about Kinds of Kindness. I'm not 100% sure what just happened. I guess I kind of get it. You know, it's three different stories that are kind of connected together, but, you know, they're kind of out of sequence a little bit, so that's all I want to say about Kinds of Kindness, guys. But that wraps up another 2 months of my watch list here, guys. As always, please jump in the comments. I'm always looking forward to hearing from you guys. Have you seen any of these movies that I've seen? What do you think, more importantly? What have you watched in the last 2 months? Any standouts for you guys? Any like major, hey Rob, I'd really like you to check out this movie. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, guys, please stay safe, and I will talk to you on the next one.